Hey everyone, welcome to This Explainer. I'm absolutely thrilled you're here today because, well, we're tackling a subject that literally baffles millions of people every single day. You know, if you share your home with a cat, you already know they do a lot of genuinely weird things, right? But what if I told you that absolutely none of it is actually random? Today, we're going to use these slides to translate 15 of the most confusing, hilarious, and, yeah, sometimes painful feline habits into perfectly logical feline psychology. Let's get into it. But hey, before we get into all those everyday quirks, I want you to think about the ultimate mystery. Why is it that a perfectly happy, purring cat will just suddenly turn around and bite your hand? You pull away, completely confused, thinking, what just went wrong? Well, keep that question right in the back of your mind, because every single behavior we decode today is going to serve as a breadcrumb trail leading us right up to the answer of that exact question. Okay, so here's our roadmap for today. First, decoding feline mysteries. Second, wild instincts at home. Third, the feline love language. Fourth, quirks and routine maintenance. And finally, number 5, the final warning, biting. All right, kicking things off with Section 1, decoding feline mysteries. So we're going to look at the incredibly strange ways cats gather information about their environment and how they physically process their emotions. I mean, picture this. You're lying in bed and your cat walks up and gently taps your cheek with their paw. No claws, just a soft touch. Now, they aren't petting you back. They're actually using their highly sensitive paw pads to scan your skin temperature, your texture, even your breathing vibrations. It's essentially a status check on you, their absolute most valuable object. And hey, what about the famous blep? You know, where their tiny pink tongue just sticks out? Well, that simply means they're so incredibly relaxed that their jaw muscles have completely loosened and they honestly just forgot to pull their tongue back in. Lastly, if you see those pupils dilate into giant black saucers while they're purring at you, that's extreme emotional arousal. Their brain is literally trying to let in as much light as possible so they can see you in high definition. So these aren't just random glitches, folks, they're deep sensory responses. Moving right along to Section 2, wild instincts at home. Now, you have to remember that while you see a super cozy living room, your cat is basically running on ancient software. To them, your house is a hunting ground. Think about it. In the wild, big cats bury leftover prey to hide the scent from predators, and they sleep in hollow logs to get multi-sided cover. So, when your domestic cat is frantically pawing at the kitchen floor or dragging a towel to cover their food bowl, they're not staging a critique of your cat food choices. No way. They're performing an ancient survival ritual to save that food for later. And similarly, when they burrow deep under your bed covers, well, they've just found the modern equivalent of a hollow log. It's dark, it offers protection on all sides, and honestly, the best part, it smells deeply of their trusted human. And you know, this ancient software also totally explains their hunting routines. You're walking down the hall and bam, ankle ambush. To a cat's brain, a moving object at ground level is just perfect prey. They react to that movement way faster than they realize, oh wait, that's just my owner. The exact same goes for hair attacks. Moving hair basically mimics a wriggling snake or a mouse darting through the grass. And look, while it's super funny to watch them hunt your shoelaces because the laces move just like prey, it is actually quite dangerous. You see, a cat's tongue is covered in these tiny, backward-facing barbs designed for grooming. If they start swallowing a string or a lace, they physically cannot spit it back out, and that can lead to some really serious medical emergencies. So definitely watch out for that. All right, on to Section 3, the feline love language. Because humans and cats communicate so differently, we honestly just misinterpret their most loving gestures all the time. I mean, have you ever had your cat jump up on the couch right next to you, settle in, and then completely turn their back to face the wall? To a human, that reads as a total snub. We think, oh great, I'm being ignored. But here's the flip side. For a creature whose survival instincts are constantly running on high alert, deliberately exposing their most vulnerable side to you is a massive compliment. They are literally saying, I am completely certain you won't attack me. It's a posture of absolute confidence and maximum trust. They just don't need to monitor you because they feel entirely safe. Then we have bunting. This is when your cat walks over, firmly presses their forehead against your hand or your face, and just holds it there. Well, they actually have scent glands right on their forehead, so by pressing against you, they are explicitly marking you as part of their inner circle. It's an incredibly intimate gesture of mutual belonging. And by the way, this is the exact same logic behind why your cat constantly rubs their face all over your warm cell phone. Think about it. Your phone holds your gaze, it's warm, and it smells just like your hands. In cat logic, anything that important simply needs to be claimed. So they're physically inserting themselves right into your attention and co-signing your shared territory. That brings us to Section 4, quirks and routine maintenance. Let's take a look at feline hygiene and what exactly happens when a cat's carefully calculated physical movements go spectacularly wrong. Come on, we've all seen it. Your cat tries to make this majestic jump onto the table, misses completely, falls to the floor, and then immediately sits down and starts intensely licking their paw, as if that was the plan all along, right? Well, this is known as displacement behavior. Their brain simply doesn't know how to react to the physical fail, so it just runs a safe, familiar program that requires zero decision-making. Falling off the couch and immediately washing themselves is essentially the feline equivalent of awkwardly pulling out your smartphone and scrolling through social media just to pretend an embarrassing mistake didn't happen. They aren't actually cleaning, they're hitting the reset button on their brain. It's super fascinating how feline behaviors that look totally neurotic to us humans are actually critical survival maintenance for a predator. Like if a drop of water hits their paw, they shake it furiously. Why? Well, because unlike dogs, cats just don't have water-resistant undercoats. Wet fur loses vital insulation and mobility, making them super vulnerable. And what about when you see them methodically chewing on their claws, pulling at them like tiny scissors? Guys, that isn't anxiety. Claws actually grow in layers, kind of like an onion. They're simply stripping away the dead, dull outer sheath to reveal the sharp, fresh weapon underneath. It's just basic, absolutely necessary hygiene. And finally, Section 5, the final warning: biting. All right, it is time to answer that ultimate question we asked right at the very beginning of our journey today. So the crucial point is this: when you're petting your purring, happy cat, and they suddenly chomp down on your hand, it's usually the result of overstimulation. You might have petted them for just a little too long, or too intensely, or maybe in a highly sensitive spot. And this literally causes their nervous system to flip instantly from pleasure to pain. All of a sudden, that nice petting feels terrible, and they feel completely cornered. Now listen to this. The bite does not come out of nowhere. Cats almost always give warnings. It's just that humans are kind of terribly oblivious to them. So here's the sequence. Step 1, their tail starts twitching. Step 2, their ears rotate backward. Step 3, the skin on their back starts rippling. And then step 4, the bite. The reality here is that the bite was just the fourth warning in a sequence, but it was the absolute only one you actually noticed. Which brings us to our final thought. Every single bite is a message. Whether it's overstimulation, play aggression where they maybe just forgot the boundary of your hand, or even genuine fear. Instead of pulling away and punishing them, I want you to look back at the situation and ask yourself, what was your cat actually trying to say on their silent language before they felt the absolute need to use their teeth? If you use the tools we've explored today to truly observe their subtle signals, I promise you're going to unlock a whole new level of trust and understanding with your feline friend. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.